Hi, it's Ben here, and today I'm going to be walking through the Tactix Hack the Box starting point machine. So let's get on with it. The first question is, which Nmap switch can we use to enumerate machines when our ping ICMP packets are blocked by Windows Firewall? So that would be the -pn flag, as shown. A lot of times machines are configured to block ICMP packets. So when you do an initial Nmap scan, the Nmap scan begins with pinging the box to check it's open, and then it goes on to do the port scan. You can do the TAC-PN to avoid pinging the box and going straight on to the port scan. So what three-letter acronym does SMB stand for? This is Server Message Block. So SMB is the Windows SMB is like a file sharing, printer sharing protocol for Windows. The Linux alternative is called Samba, but the SMB stands for Server Message Block. So these first three flags we can all Google and find out. Well, a lot of these flags we can. Anyway, what port does SMB use to operate at? That would be port 445. You could Google that one as well. And that's all I'm going to start with to begin with. And now I'm actually going to get on do some hacking. So I've got a Tactix walkthrough directory here. I'm going to make a Nmap directory, and I'm going to make a recon directory, and I'm going to start off with an initial port scan. So I'm going to do Nmap. I'm not going to specify the ports, I'll let it find them. I'm going to do -pn because actually I'll show what it's like when you don't do -pn. So what was the IP? There we go. I'll paste it in, and we'll output this to nmap2 initial.txt. So I'll let it think, and it's going to give an error. So this is what I was on about. The host seems to be down. If it's really down, if it's really up but blocking our ping ports, try TAC-PN. So I'll put this TAC-PN flag in to not use ping probes to test if it's up. And here we can see there's 3 ports open. So there's port 135, which is Microsoft's remote procedure call, and then 139, which is used for NetBIOS, and 445, which was one of the flags which is used for SMB. So now we know what ports are open. I'm going to do a bit more of a thorough Nmap scan. So I'm going to change this to thorough.txt, and I'm going to specify the ports. I'm also going to do service or version detection, service detection. I'm going to do default scripts. I'm going to do operating system detection, and I think that's all I'm going to do. I'll put that one there. I need to be sudo again. I always forget that. So yep, authenticate as sudo. Nice. I did the incorrect password. There we go. So what we can do on this screen, there's a few things we can do. We could perhaps do some more enumeration. We see this challenge is about SMB. So there's a tool called SMB Client. It basically allows you from a Linux machine to not run commands, interact with an SMB service. So we could view the shares which are being hosted. We could connect to the SMB service and download files. There's a lot of things we can do. So I'll start by just specifying 129.85.194. So I'm going to start off by doing SMB client, and I'm going to put the IP here, and then I'm also going to do a TAC-L. So TAC-L is for listing the shares on a SMB service. If you look on the Hack the Box website, that's one of the flags. So what command line argument do you give to SMB client to list available shares? So that's the TAC-L flag. And if we go this and we press enter, so it asks us for a password for the workgroup and /Kali. So it's when it's trying to list these shares, it's authenticating as the my Linux hostname user, which is Kali. So I can just put the password Kali. It won't work because my credentials aren't hosted on this Windows box. So yeah, we'll see if we get a NT status access denied. So we'll have to authenticate as a user which is present on this Windows machine. Our scan results have shown us a few more things. It's showing it's using SMB2 or perhaps SMB3, and that's important to note. It's not using SMB1. There's often the case that SMB services will be running with guest or anonymous access enabled, and that basically means I could authenticate with a null session with TAC-N and basically list the shares without providing any credentials, which it doesn't work because it's using SMB version 2 and it's configured to take in a username. So what username exists on most Windows machines, if not all Windows machines? That will be the administrator account. So we can try that, and it asks us for the password of the administrator account. We don't know the password. We could just try pass. That didn't work. We could try many other things. I tried an empty password to see how this configures, how this works. I'm going to go into the recon directory real quick. I'm going to clear that out. So I tried administrator and then no passwords, and you see you can authenticate without a password. If you supply the username administrator and no password, it works fine. So I'm just going to tee this into smb shares.log and do that again. So yeah, we've got these different shares. This IPC share usually doesn't need any credentials. There's this C dash share, and there's this this C $ share and the admin $ share and the IPC share. So this remote IPC is usually, I believe, used for like publicly hosting files. This one doesn't really require any authentication. Let's just go back. We should have got some flags by here. So what character on the end of the share name indicates it's an administrative share? So yeah, the $ does. So that's that flag. And then which administrative share accessible on this box allows users to view the whole system? So the whole file system. So that is what we can next try. We know there's 3 shares, and what I'll do is I'll cd into recon, I'll cut out the SMB share so we can see it on the side. So we know there's this admin share, C $ share, and this IPC share. So what we can do is instead we can get rid of this TAC-L to list the shares and just connect to the share. And now at the end of here we can write the share we want to connect to. So we want to connect to the admin share. So we'll go admin and then $, ask us for the password, we won't provide one, and we're in. So we can ls to list files, and I'm not sure if there's a PWD, does this show you? So yeah, this doesn't look like it shows the whole file system. We can't get, what am I trying to say? We can't move back a directory, we can only go forward in SMB. We can go into these directories, but we can't go back out of the admin share. So although this definitely lets us to see the file system, it doesn't let us view the whole file system. So instead what we can do is X out of this and try the next one, the next logical thing to do. So there's this C dash, I keep saying C dash, C $ share. So we can authenticate to this one and we can ls, and this looks more like the root directory of a Windows system, doesn't it? There's the users directory which exists, there's the program files. So this looks like the share which gives us access to the whole file system. So we can try that, and we can see that is indeed the correct one. The C share. Oh no, sorry, this one here. The C $ share is the correct share. So what command can we use to download files once we're on the SMB share? So we could have, we could Google this, or we could go help, and you can see I'm trying to find it. There's this get command. This get command allows you to download files. So for example, we could download, let's see if this works, users. Okay, so it's a directory. Did that download or no? I guess we can't download directories. We could do config.msi. Let's see if this works. Okay, that is also a directory. Let's try find a file. Okay, that one there looks like a file, page file.sys. So we don't, this isn't needed for the box, I'm just demonstrating. Okay, so it looks like we can't download some files. That isn't needed, I was just trying to demonstrate it. So we can exit this, clear out. The next flag it sort of asks us to do is which tool as part of the in-packet collection can be used to get an interactive shell on the system. So you can figure this out on your own by looking in the opt file where in-packet is installed, and you'll find that it's the psexec. You could also probably Google this. So psexec basically allows you to get a reverse shell over SMB. So if you're on Kali, you may be wondering, let's go make directory exploits. You may be wondering, where is this psexec? So we can go locate to try find the location of it, psexec.py. And we can see up top here, we've got the, or it's also in this one here, the bin, local bin. So we can copy this. So we'll copy, that's the file we're copying, and the location we're copying it to. I'm going to copy it to the exploits, I think it was exploits directory, and then we'll cd into exploits. So there's this psexec file. This is a Python script, so let's just psexec, and you basically, it works by saying, look, you need a user to authenticate us. So say you've gained some credentials, you can go administrator. Well, I've gained the administrator credentials, so I can use administrator 10. Now what was the IP again? 10.129.85.194, and after there you provide the command you want to run. I would like to run the command prompt cmd.exe, and the password, there isn't a password, it's nothing. And then boom, we've got who am I? So yeah, we've got a shell. We're running as NT Authority System. That's the highest permission level in Windows. We know we're looking for the root flag, so we can go to the users directory. There's a good chance it will be in here. And we can cd into administrator. Cd into administrator. There we go. And we can have a look around here. So let's check the documents. There's a chance it could be in documents. I cannot type documents. We can list. It doesn't look like it's in documents. We can check perhaps the desktop. They put the flag in the desktop, and they have. So instead of using cat, which you would use on Linux to show the contents of the file, you can use type flag.txt. You've got the flag there. That's one way of using psexec. There is another alternative built into Metasploit. You may prefer this as it gives you a Meterpreter shell instead of a just a boring command prompt shell. Meterpreter has a lot more capabilities, so I'm going to search psexec, and it's just this one, exploit Windows SMB psexec. So I'm going to say use. I want to use this module here. I'm going to clear this up a bit. I'm going to show the options. So look, we need to set an R hosts, our IP we're attacking, 129.85.194. The SMB user, which we're authenticating as, is going to be SMB user administrator. The pass is nothing, so we don't need to set it to. The SMB share we're going to use is set SMB share, because this one has access to the whole file system. Is this, and we're going to run. And server start timed out. Is this going to exploit? Let me try again. Administrator. Is that the right IP? Yes, it is. It looks like I just got rid of my Metasploit console. Let's quickly do this again. I've already got the flag, so use exploit Windows SMB psexec set rhost 10.129.85.194 run. Oh yeah, set SMB user administrator run. Interesting. It's looking like it's not working, and I'm confused why. Because that's exactly why. So I was not careful, and I didn't. I've seen it's started in a reverse handler on this IP. That isn't the IP I'm listening on. I want to set that to 10.10.16.14. Run this now. It's extending the Sage. We've got a Meterpreter session. We can do shell to go into the shell, and just like before, we can go into users administrator desktop, and you've got the flag txt there. So there's two ways you could have done this. They're both the same. Meterpreter has more capability, so maybe if this was a real pen test and not just a CTF, you'd want to use Meterpreter, because you can do a lot easier enumeration from there. But there we go.